Hello, everybody. I'm really excited for today's guest as he embodies resilience, transformation, and leadership. Colonel Francisco Catalá, the 14th Medical Group Commander at Columbus Air Force Base in Mississippi, has had a distinguished Air Force career, including roles as Deputy Chief of Aerospace Medicine and Bioenvironmental Engineer. Now he leads efforts to provide top-tier medical care to service members and their families, enabling the production of over 300 U.S. Air Force pilots annually. But many don't know that Colonel Catalá dedicated much of his life to volleyball playing in Puerto Rico, where he's from, before becoming a highly respected military leader. Like many athletes, he realized that his journey in that sport wouldn't go as far as he once hoped. Today, we'll explore how he navigated that transition, the lessons he carried into his military service, and his approach to leadership. Let's dive in.
Good morning or good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much, Francisco, for joining me today.
Thank you,
It's a
Marta.
pleasure.
Yes.
So, growing up in Puerto Rico, what did success look like to you? Was your earliest ambition tied to volleyball, the military, or something else entirely?
It was actually just play volleyball, play sports. That was pretty much it. And my hometown was known for the volleyball. So that's what I went for.
And so, what drew you? Just like everybody was doing it, and so you're going to do it as well?
My dad was always very active in a lot of sports. So he played mostly softball because he was at the age, right, he was older, but they had a league for senior volleyballs. But then in school, of course, it was basically volleyball, basketball, some baseball. I was always also the tallest guy in the entire my age in my group. So they were always looking for me to play those type of sports that height was required, right? So that's why I went for. And then we had a lot of really good players in the national team from my hometown. So that was kind of like, hey, you strive to follow those role models.
So, how old were you when you decided, like, okay, this is my sport, I'm sticking to it? And what sacrifices did you have to make?
So I think it was more like a middle school to, yeah, late middle school, eighth grade or so. People started to some scouts was starting to look, and then I was trying out for the youth national team and things like that. And then kind of like a semi-professional team that we had in our town started kind of like, hey, we're gonna invite you to the tryouts. I was like 15 or so. That's when I was like, huh, this could be a little bit more serious and all that. So yeah.
And would you say, like, from the start that you know, started playing volleyball, did you identify solely, like, okay, I'm a volleyball player. This is what I'm going to be, and I'm gonna just win championships.
I kind of did. I knew I was not the most talented but I was very hard worker. So I did. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna stick to volleyball. Um, I will play basketball here and there. I actually was recruited for a pro team in basketball too, but I really didn't like I don't know, the vibe, the chemistry, and how it flew for me. So I got stuck to more in the volleyball and started putting more attention and discipline to it.
You went to college. Was that your primary idea to play volleyball in college, or did you try to go to, like, national team first and then education later?
So it kind of played by itself. I was again like 15, 16, started trying out for the national team. I was always good in math and science, STEM. So I was looking for the engineering. I always liked engineering. So I wanted to do engineering. And my parents always said, hey, get a career. Sports are great. But if you get injured or so, then you might, you have to have something to do after sports. And sports is for young men. So I was trying to plan that, but in the meantime, of course, you're like, oh, I'm gonna go for it. I put all myself. I missed a lot of things in high school, of the activities of my class and things like that, because I was basically, if I was in school, I had to go to practices. So I had to dedicate myself that. And then, of course, then that helped me play out to get a scholarship then in the college, which it turned out to be the coach for the volleyball team for the national team was actually the coach at the college that I went. So
Awesome. So the interesting part is that once you went to college, your team was so incredibly successful. You basically won 55-0. I don't think there's any other team that can say that. I mean, I wasn't looking it up, but I really don't think so. It's an incredible success. What do you think made your team so successful?
well, couple things. Um, the team that was in that college somehow, it was pretty much that 8 of us or 7 of us were in the national team. So we all went and we had kind of like similar interests. We wanted to do engineering or so, and we were in that school in Puerto Rico. So we stayed there. We had that chemistry coming from a lot of the tryouts, a lot of the playing that we had before. So when we got there, some of us, 3 of us, got there after like four of them were already there. That chemistry just bled to the other guys that were part of the team, and we were very successful in a way that we had no egos of what do we need to do. Oh, I'm the best player or something. It was just like, hey, we're playing to win. I don't care who's in the other side. We just play to win as a team. So that thing that plays a lot. You can have the best player, but if you don't have that chemistry, you will never get successful.
Okay. So, since you had such success, why didn't you continue playing further after college?
So, yeah, engineering in Puerto Rico is in the United States. Normally, I did chemical engineering. It's 4 years. There is actually required 5 years, and you do a lot more classes and things there. It's very hard, and a lot of us helped us each other. But when I was there playing college, then I was also playing the in the pro league. It was one season, basically one semester I was playing in college. The other semester I was playing in the pro league. Then all of a sudden, classes in the third year started getting harder and harder and harder. And I knew that I'm like, I'm not like a Michael Jordan or something like that. I'm not going to have to. Volleyball doesn't pay as much as others, and I'm not a super talented player. So I'm not going to make this my career and live from it. I need to really pay attention to my college because that's what's going to carry me later. So I took, I dropped the pro league and I just started working or just doing the college and finishing my scholarship. And after that, it just life happens. You start getting a lot, some injuries. I had a few injuries in my last season in college, which then took me down, and it was harder to then work and also play overnights and things like that.
So, have you ever had any regrets of leaving volleyball behind?
I think I did at the beginning. What I regret is mostly that I cannot play at the same level that my mind still thinks that I can, and do things that I know I used to do. Um, I try after I joined the Air Force to practice for the Air Force team and things like that. And then I got injured on my knee. The patella, ACL, some other tendons, and that really took me down. So that's the only thing. Other than that, I really don't regret. I try to stay in touch with volleyball, coaching. I try to help other people and their techniques or things that now volleyball has changed so much since I played, the rules and everything that it's different. But at the end of the day, the same core skills are still there. You still need that. So I try to help those guys that I can see with some potential for it.
So when you moved away from volleyball, have you had any loss of identity? Because you said you identified yourself as a volleyball player. Now you're stepping away from it. How did you handle it?
It was hard. It was hard because, especially the competition, that competitive mindset. Um, when you're in the court, you're just doing at a high level. When you get there, you don't think too much. You just do, and you get very passionate about it. So I had to calm myself down a little bit to work that out. And in a lot of other settings, I still bring that team mentality and try to make it a collaboration on everything because that's how teams win. Uh, but it's still very hard to hold myself sometimes to try to push people like you will push your friends, your teammates in the court in a way that potentially in an office setting or in other settings is you can just do that because you don't know where they're coming from or what mindset they have.
Where do you get your fulfillment from right now? Because, previously it was volleyball. And now where do you find it?
It, I'll tell you, it's very hard. A lot of times I find myself looking for it. I have to go to the gym. I have to do exercise just by myself. I sit down and try to work and play intramurals with some of the folks here. At the same time, I have to hold myself because my mind wants to play as a 25-year-old, but I'm not. So I know I can get injured a little bit more and quicker and not recoup. Um, and then try to go and travel. I love to travel with my family, try to keep my mind busy. Um, it's been hard because volleyball is the place that inside that court and those lines, my mind was completely blank. It just thought it didn't think. It just did stuff. So it's been pretty hard. Probably I can't remember last time. Probably the last time was we played volleyball with some of my friends back like 7 years ago or 8 years ago, and that was it.
Wow. There are lots of very deep and, would you say, negative emotions when during the transition like that. Like, you've said that you were dealing in a physical way, like you took yourself in a different country, you're keep working out. But how do you try to handle all the situation from the mental health point of view?
I think with your partner, right? My wife, it's amazing. My kids, you have to have that support team. I always go and talk to my family, my mom, my dad, my cousins. I try to stay in touch a lot with them, visit as much as I can. And I'll tell you that the military, the job that I have, it's pretty good. You get to meet a lot of people from different places, different cultures, different upbringings, and it's pretty cool to see that. So you make those connections and you need to stay there. Uh, it's it is pretty nice to see that interaction with people. So that's where I get a lot of my energy and my calm and my easiness right now. As long as I do some physical and some training, then I can release some of that other stress. But yeah, it's mostly from my family and my wife.
I'm so glad you have such a support system. Did you have the same thing when you were stepping away from volleyball those many years ago?
No, I don't think I did, but my mind was set up more into learning the new job, moving to the States from Puerto Rico, learning the military, learning all those things that I think I didn't have too much time into it. Unfortunately, that's when a lot of the things happen in the world, like the September 11 attacks and things like that. So that kept me a lot busy, very, very busy in a lot of things. So that was, I don't think I had too much time. And then by the time I realized that I was away from volleyball for so long. Um, it was different. I was someone different, than that had to realize I cannot do what I used to do anymore.
Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned military because I would like to start talking more about your current career. What moved you to go into military?
I was looking for a challenge. I was working as an engineer in a consulting company, and what I did was like environmental and project engineering and all that. I really like environmental stuff, but it wasn't challenging enough yet. And I had a friend that he was in the Air Force, and he said, "Hey, there's this job or this profession that is called bioenvironmental engineering, and it kind of mixes a lot of the engineering and a lot of the things that you might be interested." So I gave it a chance. I got in the military, and then after that, the whole camaraderie and how people and the purpose of what you're doing, it brought me back to actually kind of volleyball, right? You are working as a team, and everyone has a role in every single job to actually get to a mission. So that kept me in all the challenges. Bioenvironmental engineering, it's very, very, you can think of anything, and we will have our fingers into it.
Would you say finding a new purpose really helped you mentally as well?
Yes, that challenges and keeping me busy. That was what yes kept me in there. Especially knowing that some other people, just like in my team, right, in the volleyball team, they were behind me. They were on the bench. They were helping me, and if I was away or sick or something, someone was going to take care of the task to be done.
Can you tell us a little bit how your career then played out after you joined military?
I got in. I was just an officer, right? Because I had my degree and everything. I have moved. By now, I have moved 12 times or so. There's been a lot of that, but since we enjoy traveling, that's been pretty nice. Uh, Went from pretty much the same office to office jobs until you get to a certain point that you now become a middle senior management, and you start going more into the staff jobs and things like that. And after that, then there's the opportunities to become commanders of the folks, right? The airmen, the soldiers, the guardians, all those, and it's very fulfilling because now you growing up now it's like I see like my coach. I need to teach. I need to coach. I need to help those others improve and continue going. So it's been a really cool ride about growing with the whole military, and it's been well, almost 20 something years, and it's been amazing. I took the same approach as in volleyball. Let's do the best I can, learn as much as I can from every mistake, and then enjoy the ride. And I've been enjoying the ride, and I've been making rank, I've been improving, promoting, all that without really thinking much about it. I'm just trying to enjoy what it is. And I think that's from the volleyball, right? It's like at the end of the day, you cannot be selfish. You have to be willing to be part of the team. And sometimes you win, sometimes, most of the times, you lose. And so that's been my approach in a lot of things. And I thank volleyball and sports for that.
Awesome. You said you moved 12 times. And
Yeah.
and you like traveling, but still it sounds like it could be tough at times. How did you deal with it?
I think as a family, it's just, we just rattle and huddle, and we like, hey, it's a new opportunity. Try to be positive all the time. Think about what new things are going to happen in there. Um, it's a little bit not nervous, but exciting in a way, right? It's like when you are in a court, and all of a sudden you're in a new arena, and you're going to face a new opponent, and you kind of know, but because you have the weather, the whatever topography of the location, so you know what the opponent does for here and there, but you really don't know until you step into that court. So we always looked at it and tried to phase ourselves and put ourselves into that excitement and looking forward to it instead of just being afraid or nervous about it. So that's been our I think our secret or our way to do it.
And your kids right now are young adults, so they went through most of those moves with you.
Yes.
And you think that it was easy for them to adapt that mindset, or did you support them in any other way as well?
We did. I think it was easy at the beginning when they're really young. They don't know better. Once they get into that middle school, then it's harder because they're making those relationships with the friends and everything. But it's really surprised me. I think he just by all the moves at the beginning and how they saw us getting to make new friends, meet new people. They were after a year or so in every location, they were already asking me, "Hey, are we moving? Are we moving?" So that was pretty interesting. They have become very resilient. They love to travel too. High school was the harder for both of them. They because their relationship with some of the friends, but what they saw is that even when we move, we stay in touch with our friends from the previous locations, no matter how many times we moved. And a lot of times we arranged to meet them or get together again or so. So they saw that there was something to do about it. So they stay in touch actually with some of their friends there that they have made over all these years. So yeah, I cannot lie. It's been a struggle for that. From the point of our first language is Spanish, so teaching them Spanish and English at the same time in an English speaking country, that was a little hard for them at the beginning. They didn't see the value of it, and now that they're older in high school and college, they were like, "Oh, this is pretty cool. I can speak two languages, understand others, and it's pretty valuable for them." So we're glad. I mean that we did that, but yeah, it was been tough.
It's so amazing that you were able to foster such resilience in your kids. And I was curious, what advice would you give to someone who, based on your experience with your kids and yourself, what advice would you give to somebody who needs to leave their hometown or just take themselves out of their comfort zone to a completely different environment when they're on their own and they have to find their way in a new place? What advice would you give?
I would tell them not to be afraid, to be open, and to reach out. The humans are amazing, and you might think that they might not understand you because different cultures or whatever, but we're at the end of the day we're all humans. So doesn't matter your color, your height, whatever your upbringing is, you can relate to something. uh, Starting with food, sharing some of your culture, your customs. So don't be afraid and stick to it. If you have something that you really do, like we wanted to teach them Spanish, uh, we stuck to it. It was difficult at the beginning, but we did.
Okay. And in your career as a leader in such a high stake environment, how do you foster resilience and adaptability among your team? It's not your family, it's a completely different relationship. How do you do that with them?
You got to give them tools first and then educate them. And then you need to challenge people, make them uncomfortable. And once you make them uncomfortable in a controlled environment, right, at home and things like that, at the office, uh, then you let them fail and then you go back and teach, hey, it's okay. So continue practicing and challenge your people. Let them fail.
It's interesting because I spoke to other people who said the same thing. to help others improve, you give them room to fail. But at the same time, we struggle to do it ourselves.
Yes.
So I think it's very interesting. So, what would you say how to develop that mindset where we allow ourselves to fail?
I think it was easy for me, and I say because I'm like, I don't know how I got it. I think it was basically sports. A lot of the sports mentality and people that have played sports or some teamwork activity, you understand that you can fail, that and someone will be okay, and then you'll do it again, and that's why you play the game, and take that joy, the satisfaction, right? So I would say that you need to encourage and empower people to do the same. Let them try, fail, as long as the risk is calculated to be eh, manageable, and then you work from there. It's something that I don't know if in today's day, with this technology and everything is so fast and so expected to be right on my hand anytime, anywhere. And it's harder for a lot of the new generation to understand you can fail and you have time for that. Don't worry about it. You'll be fine.
I think that having time is another really interesting concept. I even myself, I often feel like, oh my God, I'm almost 30. I'm running out of time. And like, I don't know what I'm doing with my life. Any advice about that? Just, I mean, it's easy. It's like, oh, you have time, but how to actually internalize it?
And I'll tell you, I'm still growing up. I don't know what I'm going to do when I grow up. Uh, a lot of times, if you ask me, I feel like I'm 26 in my mind.
And how old are you?
I just turned 50, and let yourself be enjoy and be jovial and youth and be a kid. That little kid has to stay there to wonder and dream. And there's time, and be okay with what the decisions you make. Every decision you make every day, you might not like it, but it's your decision, and it's fine as long as you are happy, you have health, family. Uh, there's time for everything, and it doesn't matter if you're 50 or you're 25 or you're almost 30. 30 is like a kid. You're like 15 or something. You got tons of time.
Yeah, I would say this is more or less how I feel, like 15. Like I'm not ready to do this.
Yeah. Well, then do that. But you know that you cannot do things that 15-year-old do, because your body maybe reminds you of that. Like it reminds me every time I step into the gym and I come back, I don't recuperate as quick as I used to. Um, but you gotta have that purpose in life. You gotta enjoy it. Life is only one, and time keeps going, and it's the only thing that we don't get back. So enjoy what you can take. uh Drink the lemonade. If it's lemons what they give you, make lemonade and enjoy it. Just go forward.
When I talk to people, what it sounds easy for them in their transition is that they have, like, when they move somewhere else, the dream may be different, but the purpose stays the same. So, for example, if you're a volleyball player, you're competing to win, and then you're in the military, where again
Yep.
creating like you're creating a team of people that then they're going to go into war and they're going to win,
Mhm.
right? So the purpose stays the same. And for me it was like, okay, I'm going to play tennis, and my purpose is to get better and better in tennis and to win. And now it's like, it's hard for me to find that purpose that would stay similar, but I don't know, it for me it's kind of tough. And when I talk to other people, it's just like, oh, I just like went from this sport to now doing this, and I'm like, wow, you make it sound so easy.
It's not easy. I'll tell you, there's a lot of days that I'm bored. And I'm like, I know that if I was in Puerto Rico or I was doing this, I would be in the court. I will be practicing or working on my different skills, things like that. And then it's like, I, I have all the responsibilities now. I cannot just go and be in the gym for hours and hours. So it is tough. There's some days that it's that I miss for when I was studying in college. Um, a lot of times I needed that time to completely go, like I told you about the court. It's like a zone that you don't think about anything. Your mind is completely blank, and that feeling is really hard to get to. Uh, and what I found was when I was not playing, I would go, for example, to the mountains of my the family had a cabin there, and I will ask everyone, please don't come, don't call, and I will go and do some work like cutting trees or something and get exhausted physically a little bit. And after that, I go to a hammock, go there under the tree with the wind, and all of a sudden I found myself completely blank, not thinking of anything. And then I was ready to study for my finals. So it's hard because I haven't felt that exact same feeling in a long, long time.
Yeah.
So,
But like
yeah,
those days when you're bored, like how do you fill that void?
I honestly, I gotta go to the garage. I have to go to the gym. I, I'm not a reader. I can't just read. I have to do something physically, and I think I attribute that. At least that's my justification. That from all the sports and things like that, that's how I did that, right? You start doing that physical activity, and then you have that satisfaction, whatever hormones and things that you start in your body. So I have to do something. Hiking, I don't know. Sometimes I used to go to the woods and start throwing rocks, stuff, or whatever. I just have to do something. That's when my Sylvette comes and tells me, "Why don't you go for a run? Do something." She knows that I'm starting to get tense, and it's probably not stress from work, and it's something that is I have that void that I don't even know what it is, and she knows that I have to just go and do something physically or something that will distract my mind of not having any thoughts, just
Yeah.
doing things.
Yeah. At the same, I have a feeling like you did amazing, like reinventing yourself, like going into military and things like that. But at the same time, and people don't always see it or don't realize it that when they have a dream and that doesn't get fulfilled, I have a feeling like no matter what you do, no matter what accomplishments you're gonna get, you're not going to be able to feel that ever again, especially that like your dream as a kid was to be a volleyball player, my
Um,
dream as a kid was to be a tennis player, and now that I don't get to be that tennis player as an adult, I have a feeling like I'm failing that my inner child, like my the little Marta that was growing up in Poland and practicing her ass off to be able to like reach that goal. Like I didn't make it, so like I have a feeling like no matter what I'm gonna achieve now, I'm not gonna be able to like say to that little kid like, okay, we made it.
yeah,
So
that's hard. I mean, it is hard. I think I wanted to do a lot of things, and I'll tell you, I make the last my first national team. I made it because some one of my friends got injured. He was going to take the last spot probably, or for that position. He was going to be even when he was not playing the same position as I was, middle blocker. He was such a utility player that they probably would have picked him instead of me. But he got injured, so I did, and it kind of taught me like oh my God, this is a freebie in a way, so I need to take advantage. Um, I wanted to do more. I wanted to play. I was not successful. One of my dreams was, of course, to be the volleyball player and then play for my hometown, but be like that star in my hometown's team. I was not able to. Why?
Hmm.
First time that I was practicing or something, I got injured. That was my first time of my ankle. So I had to miss in a whole year. The next year, I had to go to college. I was doing something else. I was that when I came back to play, the coach changed and he didn't think that I was good. I was still recovering from the injury. So I didn't play much. And then they wanted to trade me. And then it became a little bit more of a business thing. So I went to another team. First game I play against my hometown, I killed them. I just had that vengeance. Uh, but it's always been there, right? That I never was able to play for my hometown. Uh,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's like, hey, you might feel that way, but you can't just let that rule your life. I cannot live in the past. I need to just keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
and
sometimes it's easier said than done.
it is.
But on the other hand, you're in a few years when you leave military, some people are going to be like, "Oh, my time is over now. I'm just going to sit in front of the TV and just I don't know, this is going to be my retirement." But I mean, your dream now is to be a world traveler. So, and that's amazing that you're like, "Okay, yeah, I mean, I have time. Like whatever."
Oh yeah. I mean, like we were talking, right? I'm 50, and people are like, "Oh, you got 30 more years, basically, according to the stats." Well, I'm like,
That's depressing.
I know. I'm like, why are you thinking about that? I'm just thinking that I got now enough power, money, and decision that I can do whatever I want, or power of myself, right? That I don't have to ask mom and dad to do this. That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, wow, I'm finally gonna be completely grown and independent, and I can do whatever I want. I don't care. I'm just gonna enjoy that moment and go and do it. It's gonna happen. Life is gonna happen, but you can't just quit
Yeah.
if you really want to do that. So I think that's my approach. It's just again, I don't know what happened in college. Something, boom. I was super timid. I will not talk to girls, and then all of a sudden, boom. It probably, I don't know. Maybe if I was that way, I would never meet Sylvette,
Yeah.
right? But I did. So I'm glad that, and she's definitely completely, in a way, not completely, but opposite to me. She's so calm, a lot more mindful, a lot more. I don't know.
Do you think she keeps you grounded?
Oh, definitely, definitely, because the kid in me, that 18-year-old, 20-year-old, wants to come out all the time, especially when I get mad or passion in my job, and she's like, all your horses, you know. That's the key. Have someone that can ground you, right? That has a little difference, and gives you that little perspective that's completely opposite of what you do, but at the same time that they enjoy a lot of things that you enjoy. She loves to travel too. She loves to see the world. She loves to do that. So we enjoy those things, and that's, I think that's key.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So many truths here.
I know. Yeah, it's honestly,
Yeah.
you enjoy, appreciate everything you've done, and just keep doing it.
So, what would you say is the single most important lesson you've learned from both your sports and military career?
Passion, or passion discipline, right? Put all yourself, give all to what you're doing, in that passion. If you really like it, then it's not actually a work. And then with that will come the discipline, of doing things that you have to then channel that passion and what you want to do. It's I see a lot of people that maybe they don't like or they don't think that they like what to do. Then go do something else. You don't have to stick with this. I know life throws you a lot of things and it's not fair, but be disciplined of what you want to do. And if you are doing a job, then do that job with discipline and then pursue your passion if it's something else on the side or something. And one day you'll turn the other way. You'll do more passion stuff and then you don't have to do that much of the discipline things. You got to be, like I said, don't be afraid and open to everything. Seek those. And every time someone asks for something or there's an opportunity, raise your hand and then prepare yourself to be ready to answer that opportunity. When people knock on your door, you're ready. So work on things, especially the ones that you don't like. Try to at least know something about them. I did not like to be a setter, for example, in volleyball, but I had to work on some of my handwork for setting because you don't know what's going to happen in the middle of a game. You might be the one that has that ball in front of you and you have to set someone. So I try to take the same lessons learned from that, from my volleyball, and put them in my job and trying to learn from other jobs and other things and other situations on how to help them, or maybe learning how their job is will unlock something in my actual job that I can actually do a lot easier.
Okay. And if you were to speak to your younger self, what advice would you have?
Oh, that's a tough one. I would say, aim high and go high. Keep dreaming. I think my younger version was a little too timid, shy, and hold myself a lot. And I don't know, something happened after college that I just let it go, and it opened so many doors for me. So I would say, don't be afraid. Aim high.
And looking back at both your volleyball and military journey, what advice would you give to someone facing the end of a chapter in their life? And whether it's sports, whether it's their profession, or moving to a completely new place, what advice would you give?
I will tell them not to be regretful and just think about that it's not the end of a chapter, it's just the start of another, and to become a new you.
Awesome. So to finish up, I would like to know, what other dreams do you have right now?
I would love to just be a full time traveler around the world, to see, learn, experience different cultures, and just pass that experiences to everyone that I love.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I've learned so much, and I hope the listeners learned as well. It was a really inspiring conversation with you. And again, thank you so much. You found time to speak here with me.
My pleasure, Marta.
Awesome. Thank you.